It brought 17,000 unique visitors to our website, dropped our CPV by 80%.
My name is Paul Hutchison. I'm a Client Services Director at Tatari. We're a TV company, so one thing we normally do as an icebreaker is just talk about what we're watching on TV. I'm a big sports fan, so I've been watching a lot of soccer lately, the Euros, Copa America. Sil, how about you? What have you been watching?
Hi everyone, I am Salsala Niazi, the Chief Marketing Officer at Aroma360, and currently I'm watching Presumed Innocent.
Nice.
Only because of Jake Gyllenhaal.
Because of Jake Gyllenhaal, that makes sense. The pull of Jake Gyllenhaal remains strong. Yeah, Tatari, as Nick said, is a platform for launching and just as importantly, measuring TV campaigns across what we call convergent TV. So that's streaming, linear, as well as online video. So you know a little bit about Tatari. These are some of the companies we work with. You're probably familiar with a lot of these companies. It runs the gamut from companies that have never been on television before, this is their first time, to companies that have a long history on television, and we help shepherd through the upfronts. So, Sala, how about you tell us a little bit about Aroma360?
Sure. Aroma360 was founded in 2014. We initially focused on healthy scenting solutions for home and businesses, offering products like diffusers, oils, candles, and some reed diffusers as well. But as of 2024, we serve over 1.8 million customers, yearly revenue of 200 million. We have multiple showrooms, planning to open 100 more by 2027. And we're also planning to expand our globally. And we've also, not to forget, launched a new product line, Perfume and Body, and I think everybody should try it.
Yeah, big things on the horizon. Glad Tatari's been able to be a part of that, for sure. Before we dive too much deeper into it, just want to do a little audience participation, if people are up for it, as an example of what we mean when we talk about convergent TV. So the Olympics are coming up, as probably most everyone knows. So I'm curious, show of hands, how many people are going to be watching the Olympics via linear TV? That would be on NBC, USA, any of those other sort of more traditional networks. YouTube TV for those networks would count too. A lot of hands. Makes sense. Most of us have access to linear TV in some way, shape, or form. How about streaming? Peacock would be the most likely place you would do this. Another good amount of hands, some overlap there. Good. Finally, online video. Maybe you go directly to NBCSports.com or Olympics.com, maybe for some content there. I see even fewer hands, but that makes sense based on what we'll see on this very slide. So based on that very scientific survey, I think everyone knows the TV landscape is changing and how we consume TV is changing. Streaming is now close to 40% of time spent with what we're calling convergent TV. But if you add together broadcast and cable, that's still over half the time. So we can't ignore the old media just in favor of the new media. And that goes for online video as well. So with that, I'll throw it back over to you. So tell us a little bit about what your marketing mix looked like before you added TV in.
Sure. So our marketing mix before we started TV contained paid social, paid search, some influencer program. I mean, those channels were serving us well. They still do. But at a certain point, we started seeing diminishing returns. And to combat that issue, we wanted to add a new channel into our marketing mix to bring new audience for us, the audience that we were not able to reach through social media. And TV seemed to be a perfect fit for it.
Yeah, TV can definitely do that for you, as you can see here. One of the things that TV is good for is increasing reach, but what were some of your other goals when you first started testing TV?
Sure. I mean, our number one goal was to reach the audience that we were not able to reach through social media. With social media, we were able to reach younger generation, younger audience, but with TV, we could reach anybody relevant to our brand, interested to our brand, and do more brand awareness and product awareness. And anybody can do social media, but TV really helped us to build some sense of legitimacy with our brand, and then we gained like a sense of trust with our customers with TV, and of course lower cost of acquisition compared to the other platforms.
Right, as we'll see, yeah, that's something that maybe surprises some folks about TV, but you can actually lower your CPA and get better ROAS when you add TV to the mix. So we're going to dive into Aroma360's TV plan, and we'll do it in 3 parts. We'll start sort of at the beginning with your journey with Tatari. What did the test and pilot process look like in terms of budgeting, choosing where to test, Then we'll go through some recent wins for Aroma360 on TV now that you're a more mature TV brand. And then finally, last but certainly not least, we'll talk about creative, because that can have a massive impact on the response that you get from television. So again, we'll start at the beginning. So Scilla, take us through what the kind of planning process looked like here.
Sure. Before we start talking about how we started advertising TV, I want to point out that we didn't need a lot of money to start advertising in TV. I mean, we first started our 4-week pilot test with linear with only 15K budget, and we were made aware with what our demographics are going to be, what our media plan is going to look like, and our streaming continued the same path with only 4-week pilot test of 4K or 5K, and some of our top publishers were Pluto, Paramount, Disney Plus, and Tubi, these channels.
Yeah, no, the cost effectiveness is something that, again, I don't want to make any assumptions, but can catch some people off guard when it comes to television. The out-of-pocket for an initial TV test can be pretty affordable for D2C brands.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, and one of the reasons that Aroma360 has been successful is Tatari makes it very easy. It could be daunting for someone coming from the digital side of things to think about, well, how do I build a linear TV plan? But our platform is very digital-like. It'll probably be very familiar to folks who have done similar things on social or digital. So our campaign manager, which you see a shot of here on the screens, makes it very easy to determine where you should test, at what rates. Yes, linear TV is biddable now as well, and it'll help you optimize for whatever outcomes are most important for your brand, CPV, CPA, and ROAS, as we do for Aroma360. And yeah, it helps that we are sitting on just a lot of data. One of the partnerships that we have is with Experian, which gives us access to their data at a household level. So we can marry that to, for example, IP level data that we get back from streaming publishers to really help you hone in on not just what publishers should you test on the streaming side, but are there any audience overlays that make sense either right out of the gate or as the program moves along. That'll help with efficiency. All right, second, let's move on to some wins. So Scilla, tell us a little bit about the linear TV plan and specifically how what we're calling A-list networks fit into that.
Yes, so in order for us to reach our audience through linear, we wanted to reach them on a premium high level, meaning which we call it A-list. We decided to buy or secure some spots because we knew that they would be watching. And with that in mind, we secured some A-plus A-list media buying spots, and then we served them ads. And we were very surprised to see with the results that it brought for us, especially the spike of traffic that it brought for our website, which we were, later on, we were able to retarget them through other tactics, which we will get into it sooner.
Yeah, no, another sort of point on what you talked about earlier in terms of affordability. Even these higher reach cable networks can be an evergreen part of the plan right out of the gate, and we can get some efficiency there, which will only improve over time, as we continue to optimize. That's not the only part of the plan, though. There are other, even more efficient networks that we're calling kind of the core linear networks that are part of Aroma360's plan week in and week out. Tell us a little bit about how those fit in.
I mean, I'm sure everybody have noticed that in core linear, our CPA is significantly low. Our average CPA is 100, but core linear dropped it lower than 100, and ROAS is doubled and looking great as well. So yes, I would say core linear really helped us with the CPA and ROAS.
Yeah, and together with the A-list networks, it really transforms linear into a full funnel marketing channel for a D2C brand. So with those learnings, we had the confidence, and we were getting 80% off of rate card for a spot in Shark Tank. Tell us a little bit about...
Everybody's favorite.
Everybody loves Shark Tank, obviously, for obvious reasons. But tell us a little bit about what performance looked like there when we really took a bigger swing.
Absolutely. So this spot, Shark Tank specifically, it's everybody's, in my company, it's everybody's favorite because it was super exciting for everybody, and everyone can see right now. It brought 17,000 unique visitors to our website, dropped our CPV by 80%. I mean, our average normal CPV was $2.50, but this spot brought it to like lower than 50 cents, which was
That's amazing.
great and amazing success for us.
Yeah, no, we love to see these spikes, and this is not entirely out of the ordinary either. It depends on each client's baseline, of course, but when you get in front of that many people all at once, you can see, very efficient spikes like this, so that's great. All right, so we talked a little bit about linear. Let's move on to another aspect of convergent TV, and that's streaming. How does that look within Aroma's plan?
So in streaming, what I really like with streaming is layering down your demographic into your campaigns.
Sure.
We knew who our audiences were. We knew most of our audience were women. And by layering those demographic into our campaign, we were able to drop our CPA by 30%. And ROAS is always great in streaming TV, which is amazing.
Yeah, and one of the things that helps with that is Tatari has direct relationships with the publishers, so it cuts out a lot of the kind of ad taxes and middleman fees that sometimes come with the territory when it comes to streaming. So that'll certainly help bring the CPV down as well if the CPM is a little lower than what you're used to. But as you sort of mentioned before, that's not the only way that you activate streaming, not just direct to publisher, but also through retargeting. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I mean, I believe every marketer should try retargeting, specifically in TV. For us, what we did, we segmented our customers into 4, depending on their last visit to our website. And as everybody can see, across the board, we have seen double ROAS through those retargeting campaigns.
Yeah, and to be clear, this is retargeting on streaming TV. This is not just retargeting people who saw you on streaming. This is anyone who's been to your website
absolutely.
and that hasn't made a purchase. You can retarget them when they're watching their favorite show via streaming and help push them through the full purchase funnel.
Yes.
It's great. But yeah, none of that matters if you can't really measure it. And so this is another one of the core things that at Tatari we pride ourselves on. Outcome-focused measurement that is available in our dashboard the very next day, taking into account both immediate and delayed response. It's a very robust tool full of many ways to cut your data so that we can help you optimize towards whatever those metrics are that help drive your business forward. Again, how do we do that? We make it a very digital-like experience. It's what all digital marketers should be used to. We place a pixel on your site, and that then allows us to track people from impression to site visit, hopefully to purchase, tying that all to revenue, and making it very, very easy to, again, cut that data, optimize, and make your program just that much more efficient as it moves along. And it also helps that we're sitting on just an absolute ton of data. I mentioned this briefly before, but we do have IP passback from all the streamers that we partner with. We also have 30 million households worth of smart TV data. I'm sure everyone saw Walmart purchased Vizio recently. That was not a huge surprise to us. We know how valuable this data is to marketers, so probably wouldn't be surprising to see more things like that happening in the future. Combine that with first-party data from clients, as well as proprietary device graphs, and it becomes an extremely powerful tool that our data science team is able to leverage and utilize in platform to help you optimize really, really quickly. All right, the final piece of the puzzle is online video. Tell us a little bit about how this has fit in and helped improve efficiency.
So with online video, we were able to leverage in-market audiences. We thought of them watching, news on CNN.com and their iPhone or tablet or laptop. We were able to serve them ads through mid-roll and pre-roll creatives ads. And with that being said, as you can see, our CPV was again dropped after the Shark Tank spot below our $2.50 CPV.
It's great. Yeah, highly targetable, highly efficient. Who says no? As this chart clearly shows, your revenue has continued to decline with the addition of OLV.
Which we will continue using OLV as long as the revenue is there and the ROAS is there. I mean, why not?
Exactly. Love to hear that. Finally, like I said, last but certainly not least, let's talk about creative, and we're going to show some examples here. But first, tell us a little bit about how you've approached creative given the different marketing goals you have in mind.
For us, we wanted to do, as I said in the beginning, more of a brand awareness and more of product awareness.
Sure.
And keeping that in mind, we made our creative that revolves more around the product, what the product is, how to use it, which one of our creatives are over there, Car Diffuser, which is a very great example of product awareness.
Let's take a look. So yeah, I love that spot. It's very simple. Branding is clear.
Shout out to our creative team.
Yes, shout out to your creative team. It shows you exactly what the product does. I also love the QR code persistent in the bottom right-hand corner. Always helps with response. Even with all that, you were pretty strategic with how you deployed this spot though, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we didn't just run that ad. We ran it into Motor Trend Channels,
Yep,
I think.
that's the
I
one.
just the
Yep.
name of the channel, I gotta remember, which is a channel for car enthusiasts. And that dropped, again, our CPA below 50%. It actually even beat our all-time favorite ad and our all-time top-performing ad that had a celebrity face on it. It was actually one of the second top performing for us.
Yeah, don't always need a celebrity. It can't hurt if you have someone, but this really goes to show that you can kind of supercharge the effectiveness of a good creative spot on TV with more contextual relevance. It's a car-related spot, run it on Motor Trend.
Yeah.
Why not? It just makes sense. Right, so you mentioned the sort of brand awareness spot. Let's take a look at that with everyone's favorite, Damon John.
What's up? It's the People Shark here, Damon John. I'm going to give you a tip that I have never shared with anyone before. This tip is about how to create the wow factor in your home. Every person that comes into my home comments about how amazing it smells. It's all thanks to Aroma360 scent diffuse. We feel like we live in a luxurious hotel every day.
And I love how evenly it sets our space.
I highly recommend that you go directly to aroma360.com to get yours today.
Yeah, again, that ran on Shark Tank, so more contextual relevance, which makes sense for that spot as well. So you have a few winning creatives, but there are certain times a year there where you might want to do something a little bit different, creative-wise. Black Friday, Cyber Monday is obviously a big time of year for advertisers of all kinds. Of course, D2C advertisers are included in that. But you didn't start from scratch here. Tell us how you sort of approach that time of year.
Yeah, so instead of creating a whole new creative for Black Friday and having to secure a new spot and then having our audience to get used to that creative, what we did
pay
was
for a new creative.
Yeah, so what we did was, I mean, it's what I want to say for brands that actually are going to start to TV and that are young and new to TV is like you don't need to create a whole another creative for specifically each occasion. You can leverage the previous creatives that you already had. What we did was we took our top performing creative, our car diffuser and our Damon John creative, and we tweaked it a little bit by adding Black Friday call out in the beginning and the ending of our card, and we leveraged that, we reused it, repurposed it, and it brought amazing performance and amazing CPV for us and CPA.
Right, yeah, no need to reinvent the wheel.
No
and,
need to.
and this is also not an uncommon outcome for our clients. We've seen successful TV creators that can run for literally years without diminishing returns. So you can make those small tweaks during times of the year where you might want that little extra push, but there's no need to go out and create something entirely from scratch.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me on stage, Silsila. I really appreciate it.